In the thriving heart of Eneida Bay, a new chapter is unfolding. The ambitious construction of Foley Pharmaceuticals is not just a beacon of hope for the local community, it has also caught the eye of a powerful player from Pine Harbor County. Meet the Blackpool Corporation, once a titan of industry, now grappling with the aftermath of their past decisions. After selling off their land in Pine Harbor County when the oil wells ran dry, they find themselves in a precarious financial position. But the winds of change are blowing, and Eneida Bay presents a tantalizing opportunity. Currently, Foley Pharmaceuticals is importing the crude oil essential for their groundbreaking medicines, but the costs are soaring. This financial burden threatens to stifle their growth and innovation. Enter the Blackpool Corporation, eyeing the potential to supply Thomas with the resources he desperately needs. With the potential to provide a more affordable supply of crude oil, the Blackpool Corporation could either be the lifeline that propels Foley Pharmaceuticals to new heights or a corporate giant that stifles its independence. Will Thomas be able to navigate this treacherous landscape, or will the allure of profit overshadow his noble intentions? Heyo and Welcome to Build and Beautify Season 2. In this City Skylines modded Let's Play, we'll build Eneida Bay, a vibrant city of our dreams featuring transit-oriented development, clean energy, and deep city detailing. In the last episode, we witnessed Dr. Thomas Foley's launch of his new pharmaceutical company, Foley Pharmaceuticals, as well as the Eneida Bay Transit Authority's reaction and the housing development that was spurred as a result of this factory. So if you happen to miss the last episode, then click on the info card above or check out the entire Build and Beautify Season 2 playlist located in the description below. In today's episode, we are going to be constructing a new public works site. We will also welcome the Blackpool Corporation into Eneida Bay with their first offshore drilling site located in the Old Harbor area. So are you enjoying building Eneida Bay? If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what features you'd build in your dream city. If you can't wait to see the new season unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. Also, don't miss out on the Eneida Bay merchandise linked down in the description. Alrighty, so I'm wicked excited to start today's construction, so kick back, grab your beverage of choice, and let's jump right on in. Today I would like to start our constructions right here with a new public works site featuring another post-sorting facility, bus depot, some water towers, and an additional road maintenance building. And strap yourself in here because I have a lot of explaining to do. So let's start by talking about the post-sorting facility. While we have one post-sorting facility in the Old Harbor area, we seem to need more, honestly, if I'm reading this info view correctly. How we need more, I really don't have any idea. So shout out down in the comments if you understand this info view and understand why Eneida Bay is in the red despite having a post-sorting facility and less than 20,000 residents. Next, the bus depot is mainly just to future-proof our transport lines. We have a bus depot over in Cyclops Head Township already. However, the design was aesthetic and we have limited upgrade space for additional sub-buildings. Therefore, I'd like to construct a second one and hopefully put it on the outskirts of this modular build so we can add additional bus capacity if we need it. Next are the water towers, and hopefully this is self-explanatory. We are importing a majority of our water, and while I did add a water tower or two down near our sewage treatment plant, we really need to add more. I don't want to add a groundwater facility just yet, as I have some plans to use pumping stations far off in Eneida Bay's future. However, for now, I think the towers will suffice for efficiency purposes, as well as add some nice height amongst our modular build for aesthetic purposes. Lastly, road maintenance buildings. So yeah, okay, this one I'll admit is a little bit selfish. I like how this building looks and have some great detailing ideas in mind that were inspired by our recent industrial development. Basically, the road maintenance building will future-proof Eneida Bay, and I want to use some of the ore storage facilities and some of the ore props that I found in the Find It mod last episode to create a bit of detail. Where I live, there are small areas where Public Works will store smaller dump trucks for snow plowing and sanding the roads during snowstorms. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm imagining in this little area. Placing it here where the maintenance building has quick access to the highways is just honestly an additional benefit as well. So let's start with the post-sorting facility, as this is honestly a huge, chunky building, which naturally I love. However, it places a lot of space constraint on the area we have chosen for our development site. For now, I think I will just place the main building and I will position it to be more in the center and as a centerpiece of this modular build and construct the other assets around it. Once we have all the other assets in place, I'll see if I can squeeze any of the sub-buildings in to increase the capacity and efficiency of this post-sorting facility. Next, let's add in our additional road maintenance building, and I want to give this area some open space so we can come through and decorate it with some deep detailing that I mentioned earlier. So let's start by adding in the building itself and bulking it up with some sub-buildings. We will then immediately go in and add the decorations to reserve that space for this detail and prevent my little squirrel brain from accidentally building over our detailing site. Now let's add in some water towers between these buildings to add in some height, and honestly, I may use Anarchy for this so that I can layer the water towers onto the road maintenance building or the post-sorting facility. I loved doing that with the telecom tower a few episodes ago when we built that impromptu public works site in Syrcause. So let's see how we may be able to fuse together the water tower and these buildings with Anarchy, being mindful of the invisible paths. I don't want any service trucks kind of glitching through the water towers, as I feel that would just honestly completely break the immersion of this game. Okay, so I may actually add a second or third one over the bus depot, so let's work on getting that in next. And as I mentioned, I want to leave ample amount of space to create additional capacity for this depot. This way we can simply add additional bus capacity as the EBTA needs it. Alrighty, before wrapping up today's episode, let's introduce the Blackpool Corporation to Eneida Bay. Several episodes ago, we created this offshore pier area. It has gone through a few terraforming renovations, and initially I thought perhaps we would store raw resources specifically here. I think it would be a good spot for an offshore drilling site, as well as it would appear we can't actually spawn off drilling sites with our specialized industry. I feel I must be misunderstanding something or thinking something silly, so if we can actually construct, assets that go off into the water for the drilling, please, seriously, please let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, we will use this pier to create an inspired offshore drilling site instead. So here's the plan. First, we will fill in the pier area with oil extractors from our specialized industry tab. I will probably place 1 to 2 of the specialized industry sites down so we have additional jobs. However, I am really hoping to actually spawn a bulkier sub-building on this pier itself. After that, we will extend the Blackpool Drilling Corporation's operations to a few oil tanks for storage and an office building for administration on the mainland. I do want an office building and perhaps even a factory or two to process the crude oil into petrochemicals. Maybe we will even use the signature building as a kind of, big bulky building if we don't get the sub-building I'm hoping for. The petrochemicals could then be sold by the Blackpool Corporation to the gas stations, etc. However, I don't actually want Blackpool to own a gas station line, just the oil itself. So let's start by drawing in our extractor buildings on the offshore pier here. And again, I want to try and get some larger towers on this. However, I honestly cannot remember how big the oil rigs spawn in this asset, so it will be a bit of an adventure and surprise to see what we get. We can always decorate it with props and anarchy if we need to. Now that we have the extractor buildings in and actually a little bit of oil painted on that pier, let's give them a place to store the oil with a small tank field. I don't know why, but tanks are honestly such a wonderful little decoration to any industrial site. Perhaps we'll even go over and add a small tank storage to Foley's Pharmaceuticals. After all, I could see the Blackpool Drilling Corporation renting out a few tanks to Foley's Pharmaceuticals to assist with the supply and transportation. Next, let's play a game of Whack the Growable and plopping in a factory or two to produce petrochemicals. I'm honestly kind of hoping for one that will process our oil and a second to process the grain. However, it makes more sense that the Blackpool Corporation would only process the crude oil they are extracting instead of paying the farmers over in Cyclops Head for their grains. Meanwhile, any excess crude oil, I can imagine they are selling off to Foley Pharmaceuticals so that Dr. Foley can produce his chemicals. So one incredibly long game of Whack the Growables later, and I could not get a single factory to produce crude oil into petrochemicals. So let me know down in the comments what I might be missing here. Definitely seems like the actual signature building will always opt for grain to create the biofuels. So yeah, just let me know down in the comments. I don't know if it could be because we have such a surplus of grains. So we have a 13.1 ton surplus there. And where's crude oil? There it is. We only have 1.1 tons there, so maybe the simulation is prioritizing this for like chemicals. It's a theory. Not really sure if it's a good theory. So finally, let's add in a singular or maybe two office buildings in this area. And I think I would like to try and place in one of the higher density northeast office buildings that came with the recent content creator pack. However, if this office building ends up being too high, we will opt in for a southwest region pack asset instead. Before we wrap up this area, I think I want to add another subway station near this new development site. And I think I'll place it right here in front of the water treatment center. This location is about 1.5 kilometers or a little under a mile from our existing station, and it will result in a maximum walking of about 800 meters or half a mile to these new jobs. This is a lot better than the walking distance from our original station, which is a maximum of 1.4 kilometers or about 0.8 miles. This station will also then still retain a 2.5 kilometer or a 1.5 mile distance from the potential subway station we were considering putting at Foley Pharmaceuticals. So yeah, let me know down in the comments whether you think this station is too close to our original or if you think constructing this station is actually a good idea. Hit the like button on the comments you agree with as well. Before we wrap up today's episode, I want to announce a poll currently active over in the community tab on YouTube. Since founding Eneida Bay, we have lacked a name for the country in which Pine Harbor County and Eneida Bay are located in. My plan is to cluster North American-styled builds within this singular country for now. As we expand into other styled content creator packs, we will create additional country names and draw a larger world map for ourselves. So please jump on over to the community tab after today's episode to vote on the country name you think suits Season 1 and Season 2 the most. Also, please keep an eye on the community tab in general. I'd love to place a few city polls out there to dictate the decision of our builds. Things such as, will Dr. Foley's additional loans work to expand his pharmaceutical company, or will we give the money to Eneida Bay Mining Corporation instead? Things like that. So yeah, keep an eye out for some fun and excited posts. So actually, before we close out today's episode, I want to do something a little impulsive. This bus station we are creating is not working. The buses are making nonsensical UEs and they are getting congested, so I want to add the small bus station asset we have in the game since my custom one isn't working the way I want it to. So let's come on in, as the Eneida Bay Transit Authority could see the expansion of the city calling for restructuring of its initial layouts and bus drivers requesting a cleaner path to be able to pick up its passengers. We will also add in a few sort of spoiler teasers that we will be building in future episodes. Alrighty everyone, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's build. If you're excited to see the next episode unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. Also, don't forget to check out the Eneida Bay merchandise linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.